from the Fox 5 studios, this is Silver State Sports Live.
The WNBA is expanding, and so is our minds. Yours is. I don't know. Mine might be reverting the opposite direction. It's Friday afternoon, and we're breaking down the latest in Vegas sports. Welcome in to Silver State Sports Live. I'm Mike Davis.
And I'm Mariah Janos. The Golden Knights are buzzing with just 6 games left. Plus, our Paloma Villicana is joining us to talk UNLV spring ball, but we got to start with the WNBA. We are just shy of a month out from the season opener, and 2 teams have joined the fold.
Yes, the Toronto Tempo, love that name, and the Portland Fire held their expansion drafts earlier today. Each team across the league submitted protected players, a list this past Sunday with up to 5 players to protect to form an expansion as the Aces. The only player that was taken from them, Aaliyah Nye.
Yeah, which was surprising, by the way. The way the draft worked was 2 rounds, 6 picks each. The teams both opted to leave a spot open for the upcoming college draft. If you're wondering why more Aces weren't taken, the rules of the draft are that once a player from a certain team is selected, that team cannot be selected from again in that round. So the Aces had a chance of losing 2 players at most. They only ended up losing 1, a very promising player coming off a strong rookie campaign in Aaliyah Nye. But let's take a look at these 2 new rosters in totality.
Okay, so the Portland Fire held the first overall pick. They went with Bridget Carleton of the Minnesota Lynx. She's described as a battle-tested player given the assignment of guarding the top offensive player on each team she faces. She hit big shots in the biggest moments, and for the rest of the selections, there you see it. We got a lot of difficult names to pronounce there, but I could say Maya Caldwell with the Atlanta Dream and Chloe Bibby. No, not sure if she's related to Mike Bibby, but she's probably a stud, I would say. And here's the second round. Mariah, what do you see there?
Well, Nika Mule jumps out, obviously. You love her. She is obviously coming off of an ACL injury, so we're not going to see her at all this season. But there you see, right above her, you got Shug Sutton and Sarah Ashley Barker. Those 2 were top 10 picks when they were selected, so they will be a nice veteran presence for Portland as well.
What about Naya Dupooch? You know anything about her?
You know, I don't know much about what's going on in Australia, to be honest, so.
She has one of the greatest names I've ever seen, though.
Yeah, no, very interesting, very unique, very unique. So I'm glad that's our analysis for that. As for the Toronto Tempo, they used the 2nd overall pick to land Julie Allemande of the LA Sparks. And you can see the rest of their selections here from the first round. Marina Mabrey, what a get. I'm actually surprised she wasn't protected. The Sun don't have many good players. Marina was probably one of their only top players. Why they did not protect her is kind of beyond me. But then also Aaliyah Nye, of course, we just touched on it, coming from the Aces. I had a feeling that Aaliyah was not going to be protected. She was on your list of protected players.
I know, I'm upset about it. I mean, I thought we'd keep her, 2nd round pick from last year, a rookie,
yeah.
23 years old, a lot of promise, but yeah, she's going to get a new start.
Yeah, they also got Nyara Sabally, Satu's sister, so that's a good get there. And there you see their 2nd round selections as well.
Just if you thought the pronunciations were going to get easier at home, everybody.
Maria Klundikova, Aja Kane, Nikolina Milic.
I'm starving. I thought it said Klondike Bar. I'm starving. This Passover stuff is already killing me.
It's getting to your head. The fast is really hurting you.
It's bad.
Well, if I had to go between the 2 teams, I'm leaning towards Toronto for a steal in this draft. Portland still has some great pieces there, but the Toronto Tempo look like they grabbed really the best names available off the board. Obviously, Bridget Carleton heading to Portland is a huge get there. Coming from the Minnesota Lynx, they prime their players for the best action, best competition. We see the Lynx' dominant history throughout the league, and even especially in recent years, especially when you're playing alongside someone like Nafisa Collier. So that'll be a good get for them, but my focus is on Toronto. I think they're actually going to be pretty decent this year, much like we saw from the Valkyrie last year in their first season after the expansion draft.
And the Aces have to be happy. I mean, only losing 1 player, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and it won't cost them much. I am so intrigued. We'll never know what players they protected, but you gotta assume Jewel Lloyd was maybe on that list. I wouldn't have protected her. I thought she was kind of a one and done type of situation after last season, but she absolutely would have gotten snatched up if she was available. So I really have no idea who the Aces protected because There's a lot more players remaining than I thought there would be.
Hey, you did a good job. I lost one player on my list. But
Yeah.
there you go. It's the expansion draft. We're moving forward with the WNBA. Just a few weeks ago, Mariah, we weren't even sure if there was going to be a season. And now we have all these tough names we can't even pronounce.
Right, and now we got free agency on the horizon. 100 free agents available. That doesn't mean they're all looking to leave. They just wanted the maximum salary, knowing it was a CBA negotiation year. Asia Wilson already saying she is staying put. She's not looking to go anywhere else. You've got the big names from the Liberty like Stewie and Sabrina also echoing that sentiment. They're staying in New York despite being free agents, but it will be interesting to see the shakeup across the league once free agency gets going next week. So that's something that we will keep you posted for, but let's keep it rolling here. Still to come on Silver State Sports Live. We're 24 hours removed from the news of Kirk Cousins to the Raiders. We're getting former Raiders QB Jay Schrader's take coming up. He'll tell us what it means for Fernando Mendoza.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
In exactly 20 days, the Raiders are expected to select Fernando Mendoza with the #1 overall pick in the draft. But just yesterday, Vegas agreed to a contract with veteran quarterback Kirk Cousins. So what's the plan at quarterback? Is this good for Mendoza, and should he start right away? I sat down with former Raiders quarterback Jay Schrader on Sound Off Sports to learn some more. What are the Raiders thinking here with Mendoza and now bringing in Cousins?
Well, here's the thing. Kirk Cousins has been around in this system, okay? He knows the system.
Right.
He can help Fernando a lot in that. I'm sure he was told, look, there's a chance you're going to play, but your job is to sit here for a year and help this young kid. I don't think Kurt is coming in with the expectations that I'm the guy right now. I think he's here to know that he's going to help him and try to figure this thing out. And if there's bumps in the road, you got a proven guy that can go in and play very well at a high level.
So is this a good thing for Mendoza?
I think it's a good thing. Yeah, I really do. I think it's a good thing for both of them,
right.
Actually. I think it's a good way for Kurt, who's had a long career, to be around a young guy, come to another spot where he gets a fresh start and to see what he can do.
And what about just the fact, like, from growth and development? Do you think a #1 overall pick should sit a year? Would it be best if he sat for the year? Would it be best if he got playing time? What do you think about development for a quarterback of that level?
Well, we'll go back to how many games has he played in college? He's ready to play in the NFL, and I think he should play in the NFL. I think he should be the starter from day one. Everybody says, "Oh, you get to sit back and learn and all that." No, you get to learn by doing. Okay, You've got to go out there and do it. You got to feel that pressure. You got to feel the speed of the NFL, which is going to be quicker than anything he's had in college. And I think he's just got to get used to it. And I think he can handle it right away.
All right, thank you to the great Jay Schrader. To watch the full interview, just go to our YouTube page at Silver State Sports. So, Mariah, I want to ask you this, get your take on all this, because you did call the Kirk Cousins and Raiders signing a few weeks back, and you even covered Kirk Cousins when you were working back in Minnesota. Yeah. So if you were running the Raiders and you had to pick either of these two options, you don't have a whole buffet here. You got two options. It's either Mendoza starts for the entire season, or he sits behind Kirk Cousins for the entire season as a rookie. You have those two options. Which one would you choose?
I don't like either of these options. I want to go half and half, but obviously that's not an option here. We can't choose death here. Okay, so originally I was going to say sit Mendoza for the year, let Uncle Kirk do his thing. But Jay made a great point there. You learn by doing. He's got 36 starts throughout his college career, and just the feedback and the reporting from his pro day, this kid sounds ready. Just the way he was communicating with his receivers. And we heard Vince talking about it the other day of it's not about the completed passes or his performance at pro day, but what happens between the drills? What happens between each throw? How is he reacting if a pass is dropped? Or how is he communicating with his guys? And he seemed to do that at the highest possible level. Obviously, to have Kirk as a backup on the bench there, helping as another set of eyes, being that veteran that he can rely on. Clint Kubiak is not going to fail this team this season. I am so convinced of that, and with the pieces that they brought in to bolster this offensive line and just the offensive weapons that this team has had that are hungry, that have wanted to get the touches and the carries that they haven't been able to get because they haven't had the right offensive system in place. Let's put Fernando Mendoza in there and see what happens.
I agree. I think Jay's spot on. I think you're spot on. Every move the Raiders organization is making right now is all signaling that Mendoza is ready to go. They're just trying to institute and put all these pieces of the puzzle together and construct it in a fashion so Fernando Mendoza is put in a position where he can succeed ready right from the jump, very early on in his career, and I think it's a good thing. So, Mariah, I like your take. I like Jay's take. Go check out that full interview. Meanwhile, there's also a new quarterback over at the Fertitta Football Complex. We got to see Jackson Arnold for the first time today at Spring Ball, which just got underway for UNLV. Now, Arnold transferred in this offseason from Auburn, and he's got some big shoes to fill as Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year. Anthony Calandria has transferred to Nebraska.
So a whole new look for Dan Mullen's offense, and who better to join us right now to break it all down.
Straight out of practice.
So
got my
fighting the wind.
spring ball gear on today.
Her hair is now tamed. It's not all over the place. We figured it all out.
It was crazy out there today.
So after, I know, pretty small sample size, right,
Yeah.
with him being at practice today, but what are you thinking overall of this Jackson Arnold?
There's a lot of new faces on both sides of the ball. I mean, every single year we're going to see a new team take the field. That's just the name of the game in college athletics. So I know we're focused on Arnold, but it is a brand new roster that we're looking at. But what sticks out to me about Arnold is his size, his physicality, his experience. Obviously a smart young man coming from Oklahoma and Auburn. Former 5-star recruit. 24/7 Sports listed him as the #1 recruit right out of the state of Texas. So he has the football IQ. He has the SEC experience. He has those big stage moments competing in the SEC, going up against, in my opinion, the best defense in college football. He rushed for 8 touchdowns last year on the Plains. So he is a running quarterback. Very different than Anthony Calandria, though. Anthony was quick and speedy and a playmaker. I think this guy's a little bit more, I don't know, strong, physical, maybe takes his time a little bit more, whereas Anthony was quick, kind of dancing around, lots of energy. Maybe this guy's older, a little bit more mature, a little bit more stoic, I would say. But Jackson Arnold's not the only.
Thank you so much.
Jackson Arnold's not the only quarterback. You have Alex Orji in there. Right. You have some young quarterbacks as well. So the biggest thing Dan Mullen talks about is creating depth. In this era of college football, it is hard to create depth, and that's his #1 priority, is getting these guys up to speed when kickoff comes around.
Well, speaking of Dan Mullen, let me ask you about this, because last week, The Athletic, they actually ranked the best G6 head coaches in college football. They ranked Dan Mullen at #1, Paloma.
Yeah.
Too high? Do you agree with it? What do you think about that ranking?
He is one of the smartest coaches I've worked with. Obviously, he's called the quarterback whisperer, quarterback guru. We know his resume is really long. But if you take players like Anthony Calandria, who didn't play much and, transferred from Virginia, and to see what he did last year, I mean, that was enticing for Jackson Arnold to come to UNLV. So Dan Mullen at UNLV is like a dream come true. I know, look at him stretching it out.
Like, what?
Yeah, and you know
He's
what?
doing like lunges.
Is that like Vrabel out there?
Like, whoa.
He's got the national championships. He's got all the, winning pedigree, but he's such a nice, humble guy. I mean, you can go over to his house for dinner. He's just a nice dude. I love that he's here at Fox 5 too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We love everything you do with the Red Zone. See, that was a flex right there. You can go over to his house for dinner.
I can go over his house for dinner. Yeah,
Well,
he's a sweet guy.
Passover, Seder.
Listen, I'll start doing these.
He's still got it. He's still got it. So
I'm just going to move
All
out of
the
the
way,
frame.
all the way.
I'll just keep going. But I'm going to stop lunging.
Thank you
Of course,
so much.
guys.
Mike, you stay over there. All right,
Okay.
still to come, he's back. Tony Cordasco is joining us after the break to talk all things VGK.
All right, the guys in gold had themselves a night against the Calgary Flames, securing the 6-3 win in the second game under new coach John Tortorella.
So, of course, we got to bring in our guy, Tony Cordasco from the Locked On Golden Knights podcast. Talk all about it with us. All right, Tony, back-to-back wins for the Knights under Torts. However, we said this last time, these are against kind of bottom-feeder teams. Has your opinion changed at all, or is it simply just collecting the necessary wins right now?
Yeah, it is. It's collecting the necessary wins. I was so corny on the podcast today. Golden Knights extinguished the Flames in more than one way. The bizarre 26-minute delay. Yeah. They also brought out fire extinguishers there. And after that, the Flames didn't score again. So they lose 6-3, and they wind up, again, there's fire extinguishers everywhere. That was so bizarre.
That's
and so random.
Wild.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was, now how do you run over a logo and the logo like rises to the top? Was it like yeast, or what do they have in that logo?
Is that a Passover joke? I saw what you did there, Tony. Look at that. What a genius.
I know. I tried.
Wow.
I tried pretty hard. That stinking Zamboni, the Zamboni driver would have been on waivers today if they couldn't fix it, if they couldn't fix that at all. And, you know, the big story, though, again, is unlocking Mitch Marner. I call him one of two things. I've got new nicknames for him. Number one, teacher's pet, that's okay. But the second one you're really going to like, the spirit animal. He's the spirit, because we want to raise the spirits with this team. And he's done just that, the hat trick, 5 points in the game last night. And they've unlocked him. They've done something to move him around. He starts on the top line. And now this is Marner's team. And a few days ago, we told you, again, that Tortorella really likes him. All of a sudden, he's like, oh, wow, I saw him up close, and he's really good, okay? We've known that for a minute, but they weren't able to get him in the right positions to score goals, to be creative. Big 5-point night. That's really terrific. And, again, it was an overall good performance, but who knows? I don't know. We'll find out for real against the playoff team in Edmonton on Saturday night. And now we have that coaching carousel and perhaps a dilemma: who gets the starting nod in net? Will it be Carter Hart? Because, again, this is Torts going, I really love this guy, too. He loves everyone, anyone that can win, obviously.
Yeah.
So now 6-3-3. And, I was just I'm just wondering what they're going to do. They killed that long 5-on-3. And there's no, again, Torts said yesterday, hey, we don't have a plan. We're not mapping it out the way that they did in the past with Cassidy. So it could be, coming down to a Saturday morning decision on whose net it is. Sooner or later, it's going to be Hart.
It's fascinating. And, I would say one thing in terms of a hat trick. That hat you have on right now, Tony, if you were you would not throw that baby on the ice, because that's a nice hat. That is a beautiful hat right there.
36 years later, running Rebels.
I love that hat. But you did mention it, same as Vince Sapienza, that Tortorella was going to be able to really unlock Marner. I guess Mariah said we're beating some bottom feeder teams. Now we got a team that we got to compete with and we got to beat in the Oilers tomorrow night. You teed it up. What do they got to do to beat the Oilers tomorrow?
They have to win the so-called pillow fight, right? Isn't that what they call this, a pillow fight? Mm-hmm. And Edmonton's on an absolute heater right now. They've won 5 straight, and they're 7-2 without the services of Leon Draisaitl right now, who's not going to be returning until after the playoffs. And so this is a team now that is playing team hockey. And in net, they give up a ton of goals. They did. Suddenly, they've settled down. And Tristan Jarry, who was giving up 6 or 7 goals per game, now Jerry's starting to get into a groove. He had a 3-1 win over, it was the Blackhawks last night, but you still have to believe that this team is starting to come together. I'm looking forward to, they should really just break out pillows and have the guys fight each other. I think that would be terrific. Wouldn't that be so much fun?
An extra point for that.
You do. You get extra points if you win. The first one to knock down the opponent to the ice wins. That's the way that has to go. But Darnell Nurse, I think we're going to see maybe they might drop the gloves right there at the opening face-off, because he did those fishy faces, and kisses. Like when you're kissing the crowd and the bench, you don't just make bubble faces. You kind of like, you have to express yourself a little bit better.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a certain way to
what's
do
the
this.
proper way to do that, Tony?
blow a
You don't make like,
blow
you
a
don't
kiss
look like
to
a
us.
blowfish.
Right.
Yeah, you have to blow kisses
Beautiful.
to them, right? That's the way I was taught. That's what we used to do to taunt people. But yeah, so I think they're playing a complete game right now. And I think, again, Connor McDavid, last night was the first night, I think, in 6 games that he didn't score a goal.
Wow.
So he's been on fire lately. And yeah, it's just a complete effort right now by Edmonton. And the last time I was on, or a couple of times ago, I don't know, I was saying I think that Edmonton wins the division, and then you would have Anaheim probably second, VGK third. And I'm still going to stick to that prediction. I still have to go with that. But the Oilers haven't won the Pacific Division. It used to be like called the Northwest Division. They haven't won this division since 1987, which I didn't realize. I was doing some research because I couldn't remember, in the 9 years that VGK has been in the Pacific. I couldn't remember Edmonton didn't win it, right?
So we're going to see what happens. We'll see what happens tomorrow, Saturday. Tony, you're the best. Thanks so much for joining us.
We're blowing you kisses,
We're blowing
Tony.
you kisses. We'll be right back.
All right, so the college basketball crown continues this weekend with the semifinals and finals airing right on Fox 5. It's going down at T-Mobile Arena. There are 4 teams left standing. You've got Oklahoma against Baylor, Creighton against West Virginia. And why is West Virginia so important, Mike?
Producer James.
Yes.
There we go. Let's see what producer James was
There he
doing
is.
last night.
He found the Mountaineer himself.
Look how I've never seen him that happy.
I know. Look at that smile. And the athletic director. Wow. Look at that. James having the night of his life. Let's hope the Mountaineers win it all.
We're
just
hoping
for
for
him.
you. Good stuff, James.
We'll see
Look
you
at
guys
that
on
smile.
Monday.